Time feels obvious. It moves forward. The past is behind us. The future hasn't happened yet. And yet, emotionally, this is not how time works at all. You can be safe in the present and still feel the weight of something that happened years ago. You can know that something is over and still react as if it is about to happen again. You can leave a situation, a relationship, or a place and still feel like you never really left. This is not because you are stuck in the past. It is because the nervous system does not experience time linearly. From a biological perspective, the brain is not designed to remember the past. It is designed to anticipate the future. Memory is not a record. Memory is a prediction system. Neuroscience shows that what we call memory is constantly being reconstructed, updated, and repurposed to guide what happens next. The brain does not ask, what happened before? It asks, what usually happens after this? This is why memory is inseparable from expectation, and why trauma is inseparable from time. In predictive processing models, the past is not stored as events. It is stored as priors, expectations about how the world behaves. These priors are not abstract. They live in the body, in muscle tension, in breath patterns, in attention, in emotional readiness. This is why trauma does not feel like a memory. It feels like a current threat. The system is not recalling. It is preparing. When something overwhelming happens, especially under conditions of helplessness or unpredictability, the nervous system makes a decision. Not a conscious one, a biological one. It decides, this must never catch me unprepared again. But here is the crucial detail. Learning only updates when the system feels safe. Threat shuts down updating, so the prediction formed during trauma remains frozen. This is why trauma responses feel automatic. The system never learned that the danger ended. This also explains why time collapses in trauma. The past does not feel like then. It feels like about to happen. Researchers such as Georgi Buzaki have shown that the brain's timing mechanisms are rhythmic and recursive, not linear, neural activity loops. It prepares, it rehearses. It simulates futures using past information. From the nervous system's perspective, time is not a line. It is a loop of readiness. This is why certain cues trigger immediate reactions. A tone of voice, a silence, a facial expression. A delay in response. The system recognizes the pattern and activates the prediction. This happens before conscious thought, before logic, before reassurance. This is also why telling someone with trauma that it's over does not help. The system does not respond to narrative. It responds to felt safety. Memory, then, is not about remembering. It is about protecting. This applies not only to severe trauma, but to identity-level experiences. Repeated disappointment, chronic unpredictability, emotional neglect. Inconsistent caregiving. These experiences shape prediction just as powerfully. When people say, I don't know why this still affects me, what they are describing is not weakness. They are describing a system that never got the chance to update. This is where time, memory, and identity converge. Identity is a set of expectations about how life unfolds. Memory supplies those expectations. Trauma locks them in place. From this perspective, healing is not about revisiting the past. It is about changing how the future is predicted. But prediction cannot change under pressure. This is where most approaches fail. They push exposure. They push reprocessing. They push insight. But if the system feels threatened, learning does not occur. This is why trauma healing cannot be forced. Force recreates the original condition. Safety must come first, but safety is not reassurance. It is lack of urgency. When the nervous system experiences something unexpected without danger, prediction begins to loosen. Time begins to flow again. This is why moments of calm can feel disorienting to people with trauma. The system does not recognize the state. It waits for the other shoe to drop. This is also why rest can feel unsafe. Stillness removes vigilance. Vigilance once meant survival. From the outside, this looks like resistance. From the inside, it is intelligence. Trauma does not mean something is broken. It means something learned too well under the wrong conditions. This is why trauma is not located in memory alone. It is located in timing. The system learned to act before it was too late. And it never learned to stop. Time in trauma is not past, present, future. It is always about to happen. This is where quantum metaphors become useful. Carefully, in physics, Time behaves differently depending on reference frame. There is no universal now. Events are ordered relative to interaction. In the nervous system, time is also relational. It depends on perceived safety. Under threat, time compresses. Under safety, time expands. This is why trauma survivors often report time distortion. Moments feel stretched or collapsed. Because prediction dominates perception, healing then is not about changing the past. It is about allowing the nervous system to experience a present that does not confirm the old future. This requires patience and repetition and absence of pressure. Which brings us back to awareness, coherence, and letting go. Awareness interrupts automatic prediction. Coherence stabilizes new signals. Letting go removes interference. This is not fast, and that is not a flaw. At this point, many people ask, so how do I heal trauma? The honest answer is uncomfortable. You don't do it. You create the conditions under which the system can update. Those conditions are safety without urgency, uncertainty without threat, and presence without control. When these conditions are present long enough, memory reorganizes. Not because you changed it, but because it no longer needs to stay the same. This is also why healing often feels indirect. Life improves in one area, then another. Then something old loses its grip, nothing dramatic. Just less charge, less immediacy, more space. This is time starting to move again. We pause here intentionally. Because the next movement matters. Once time begins to flow, identity changes. Choice expands, and new futures become possible. When time begins to move again inside the nervous system, the change is rarely dramatic. There is no clear moment where the past releases. What changes first is something quieter. The future stops feeling predetermined. For a long time, the system lived as if outcomes were already decided, not consciously. Biologically, every situation carried an expectation. Every pause carried meaning. Every unknown carried danger. This is what frozen time feels like. When updating begins, that certainty weakens. Not immediately, but subtly. The system hesitates before reacting. There's a pause where there wasn't one before. And in that pause, something new appears: choice. Choice does not arrive as confidence, it arrives as less urgency. The compulsion to act softens, the need to prepare relaxes. The system begins to wait. Waiting is not passivity. Waiting is prediction loosening. This is why healing often feels like confusion at first. The old rules no longer apply, but the new ones haven't formed yet. This can feel unsettling. People often interpret this as regression. It is not, it is transition. The nervous system is recalibrating its sense of time. It is learning that not everything requires immediate response. That delay does not equal danger, that nothing terrible follows if vigilance drops. This learning does not come from thinking, it comes from experience. Repeated experiences where nothing bad happens. This is why safety must be lived, not explained. As these experiences accumulate, something important shifts. Memory begins to reorganize. Not by erasing events, but by changing their meaning for the future. Memories lose their predictive power. They still exist, but they no longer dominate anticipation. This is why healed trauma is often still remembered, but no longer activated. The story remains, the charge disappears. This also explains why healing can feel disappointingly ordinary. No fireworks. No breakthrough, just a sense that something doesn't hook you the way it used to. The nervous system is not interested in meaning, it is interested in what to expect next. When expectation changes, experience follows. This is where identity quietly updates. If identity is a set of predictions about what usually happens, and prediction begins to loosen, then identity softens too. People often say, I don't recognize myself anymore. What they mean is, my old expectations no longer fit. This can feel disorienting, but it is also liberating. Because identity stops dictating behavior, this is where agency truly emerges. Not as control, but as responsiveness. The system no longer rushes to defend a future that may not arrive. It becomes curious instead of prepared. Curiosity is a sign of safety. The nervous system does not explore when it feels threatened. This is why curiosity returns as healing progresses, about people, about possibilities, about life. Time at this stage feels different, less compressed, less heavy. Moments stretch, breath deepens. This is not psychological, it is physiological. The nervous system has exited survival timing. In survival, time is narrow. Everything happens now. There is no room for delay. In safety, time expands. There is space between moments. This is why people recovering from trauma often say, "I feel like I have more time." Nothing changed externally. But internally, the clock slowed. This slowing is essential. Without it, coherence cannot stabilize. Coherence depends on rhythm. And rhythm requires time. When time was frozen, coherence was impossible. Signals were contradictory. The body said danger. The mind said stay alert. Emotion said prepare. Control held everything together. As time flows again, these signals synchronize. They do not disappear. They align. This is why healing is not about removing fear. It is about integrating it. Fear becomes information, not command. The system learns. I can feel this and still be safe. This learning is profound because it rewrites the future. When the future no longer feels threatening, desire becomes possible, not longing. Desire without fear. This is why people often rediscover motivation after healing, not forced motivation. Natural movement. This is also why creativity returns. Creativity requires uncertainty, and uncertainty only feels safe when time is fluid. At this point, the past truly becomes the past, not because it was erased, but because it is no longer needed to predict the future. This is the moment people describe as freedom, not excitement, not happiness. Freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is not being ruled by what you expect. This is why healed people often make different choices without effort. They are no longer repeating a timeline. This is where quantum metaphors can be used with care. Not to suggest mystical timelines, but to describe state-dependent futures. In physics, the behavior of a system depends on its current state. Change the state, and different outcomes become available. In lived experience, the same applies. When the nervous system changes state, different futures become possible, not because fate changed, but because behavior, timing, and perception changed. This is why healing opens options, not guarantees, options. And this is why pressure is the enemy of healing. Pressure collapses time. Pressure reinstates survival prediction. Pressure freezes learning. This is also why trying to heal faster delays healing. The system hears urgency as threat. Healing happens when urgency disappears. At this stage, many people fear relapse. They worry the old patterns will return. This fear itself is a leftover prediction, and it deserves gentleness. Patterns may reappear under stress. That does not mean healing was false. It means the system still knows how to protect. The difference is choice. You are no longer trapped in the reaction. You notice it sooner. It releases faster. It no longer defines you. This is resilience, not perfection. This is also where compassion for yourself deepens, not as an idea. As recognition, you see that nothing was wrong. Nothing was broken. The system did exactly what it needed to do. And now it can rest. In quantum reset, this is described as moving from survival time to living time. When time becomes livable, life reorganizes naturally. This episode does not end with instructions. Because instructions imply urgency, it ends with understanding. Understanding that time was never your enemy. It was your nervous system trying to protect you, and now, protection can soften. In the next episode, we move fully into what happens when the future opens, how desire returns without fear, how alignment replaces effort, and how life responds when internal time flows freely. For now, there is nothing to fix, nothing to revisit, nothing to force, only something to notice. Time feels different when you are no longer bracing for what comes next. If this episode helped you understand why the past felt so close for so long, subscribing supports this kind of deep research-based work. And if someone you care about feels trapped in always now, sharing this may offer relief without explanation. Healing is not about going back. It is about allowing time to move forward again. And when time moves, life follows.